I literally laid down in bed the other night this week and said, I feel like I have been running at 100 miles per hour all day. It's this season of busy hustle and bustle. But you know what? Love is slow, and Jesus walked. And this season is also, it's the reason for the season, about peace and calm and this gift of Jesus coming as a baby. But we feel the opposite. How? How can we find the calm? I actually had a recent coaching client who is going to remain anonymous where we talked about this exact thing, this feeling of urgency. We walked through my courageous faith model, and I want to share it with you today because I know you are feeling busy, stressed, overwhelmed. Take this exact thing that we did and use it. And you too can actually coach with me. Let's chat on a free 15-minute stress relief call and figure out how at bit.ly/chat with Shan, bit.ly/CHATWITHSHAN. All right, let's get into it. Hey mama, are you stressed by the lack of time in the day to do all the things? Are you feeling disconnected from God, your husband, and even your kids because patience and presence seem out of reach? Do you want a healthier body, mind, spirit, and home, but overwhelmed in where to start? Hey, I'm Shan Wright, daughter of the king, wife, mom to 4, RN, wellness coach, and I know very well what it feels like to want to live well, but about to lose it with my very blessed full life. After realizing I can't pour from an empty cup, I tracked my way to whole body wellness and so much peace. If you are ready to cancel the stressed out life, learn tactical, intentional strategies as a mom wearing many hats, find more peace, confidence, and joy raising kingdom kids, then listen in. Come on, mama, together we got this. Really, God's got this. So go heat up that coffee again and turn your listening ears on. Let's chat. I'm going to walk you through this coaching call exactly how it played out because this client does not want her identity known, which I completely respect, but she did agree to have me share it as an anonymous client because I think it is so vital that you hear exactly what we talked about and how we worked through it and got her the result that she was looking for. Okay, so her biggest stressor is her homeschool mom, 4 kids, little, under 8, is urgency. Now, do you feel that? She says she feels this underlying tone of urgency. She realized it was an internal struggle and it wasn't always coming from her external. So there's a lot of things that we could walk through here in this feeling of urgency, but we took an exact example. She said she was feeling urgent and wanting to rush through something as soon as the problem arose. So whether it was a work thing that came up or whether it was the kids needing something, she felt, I got to get this done as quick as possible. Do you ever feel that way? Do you ever feel like our time is just flying by and we're trying to hold on and grab at the air like, wait, don't go. I need to do all these things first before this hour passes by. I feel it exactly. I know what she's talking about, and you probably do too. So we walked through my courageous faith model, and this is adapted from several other wise coaches and people, but the latest is from my friend and coach, Judy Weber. And so I walked her through this model, and we were able to get to the root of the issue. Okay, so we took the exact scenario of I need to get food ready as fast as possible. My kids are hungry and they're wanting lunch or dinner, and I need to get it to them as fast as possible. First, we take the thought. Okay, so I want you to do this, and a lot of times our thoughts are derived from fear and lies and false beliefs and negative inner vows and limiting beliefs that we have stuck in our neuron pathways. So the problem arises, my kids are hungry, I need to get food ready as fast as possible. The thought is, my kids are being impatient, so I need to go as fast as humanly possible. Now, partly this is out of safety for the 3-year-old who is antsy and might do a little, out of character things or even in character crazy things because they are wanting to be fed. We know how 3-year-olds act. This is a situation that you may be very familiar with. So we go as fast as we can to keep the kids safe. That's still out of fear, right? You can see how that thought is still coming from fear and let me hurry so I can keep my kids safe. That is my main job. Okay, so then I asked her, what does your body feel in this moment? And she responded with physically, an elevated heart rate. I move fast. I might not do the job as well because I'm rushing to get it done. Oh, girl, I know that. You drop the knife, you almost stab your own foot because you're hurrying in the kitchen. It's not a place where we should be hurrying. It's actually a place where we should go nice and slow because we're going to put ourselves in unsafe places. So anyway, when she said that, I was like, yep, been there. Her own patience tanks is what she said, which results in this is being stressed out. This is stressed out and it's leading towards exhaustion. If you remember one of my last episodes, I can't remember the number, but I went through the stress model and optimal stress is at the top. This is dinner has to be ready on the table in 30 minutes, but the whole meal from start to finish takes 30 minutes. So you're not rushed. You go at the steady pace of what it takes and you understand I'm going to cut the carrots. Then I'm going to put the dish in the oven. It's going to take 20 minutes in the oven and then it's going to come out ready on the table in 30. Like what it takes. And so you're at that optimal stress where you're going to perform and achieve those results and you're going to continue through until the end. When you get down on the other side of the stress curve, which is the Yerkes-Dodson law, they're the 2 psychologists that came up with the law, and it says you have your stress, you have nothing, and then you go up to the optimal stress level at the top of the curve and you go down, and at the bottom is burnout and exhaustion, complete burnout. So you're headed towards exhaustion when you are stressed out, and this happens over time. Back to the model, I asked her, what do you say in this moment when you're feeling this and you're getting ready? She says, I'm going as fast as I can. I can't make it cook any faster. Kids, I'm trying my best. Okay. And then what do you do? I asked her what you do in that moment with your actions. And she said, making food in a rushed way. I might start with an apple and give them more of a progressive meal to help hold them over, which I think is a brilliant idea and brilliant solution. But the result of that, from the thought, the feeling, the say, the do, the result is kitchen burnout. If this happens meal after meal after meal, she does not want to go in the kitchen anymore. She doesn't have the joy of cooking anymore. They don't have as many family meals because it's a progressive meal and then they're done and the kids have had little popcorn dinner and then she's left with, well, what are the grown-ups going to eat? What are me and my husband going to eat for dinner? I've spent this time making this and I've not worked on an actual meal. So then I said, let's take my bold, courageous faith model, step out in bold faith, and go back to the thinking. We have to go back to our thoughts. This is where everything comes from, right? It goes, your thoughts turn into beliefs, turn into what you say, your words, into your actions, into your result, your destiny, what happens in your life. And it all comes back to the thought, okay? So we're going to go back to the thought. This is what we're going to do. What do you wish your thought was in this scenario? And she said she has been intentional lately about remembering that Jesus walked, that he was slow in his actions, and she wants to emulate her life after Jesus. So yeah, this thought has been coming up in her mind, but she's like, what do I do? How do I do it? And so I helped her. This was hard to do, right? What our initial thoughts are and the fear-based model, that's what we're prone to. That is our flesh. That is natural. But you have to take faith and to not think in fear is really, really hard. And sometimes it takes a coach and someone coming alongside of you and passing their faith on because they're not in the scenario. They're on the outside. So they can see a new way of thinking and then pass it on to you, and then you can use it. So she had a hard time thinking of a faith thought. But together we came up with, I have the opportunity to teach my kids patience in this meal, at this lunchtime, at this dinner time. I have the great opportunity to teach them patience. So the feeling, when you think that, the feeling would follow that you have more patience personally. You're not going to be rushing as much. You're not going to feel that urgency. You might say something more validating to your kids, like waiting is hard. You might welcome some of the kids into the process of the meal. You might, for the 3-year-old that we're worried about his safety, you might give him a waiting game. Help him come up with a song, counting, something that he can do with his body that is in a safe way to wait for the meal. Now, this takes creative work, and it takes actually knowing your child as well. What do they like to do? Make it fun. Kids love to have fun. And I think a lot of times as moms, we get caught in, this is serious. I got to keep them safe, and I got to get dinner on the table. And how do I do this? How do I handle this? And you get so serious, which, yeah, their life is a serious matter. But if we lighten the mood and just the vibe and the energy and make it more fun, then everything will go more safely, actually. And then what would you do? You would move at a more steady pace. You would make the meal as it should. You will say it takes 30 minutes to make. I'm actually going to make it within the 30 minutes. I'm not going to try to make it in 20 when it says 30. And my kids will learn how to wait for the 30 minutes for dinner. And it just will change the energy all around the dinner waiting, the meal waiting process. And then the result would be more meals around the table. You won't have that progressive meal as much because you might have an appetizer. The kids might have an apple as an appetizer, but then they'll be able to learn how to wait and have the meal together, because that's also going to be an exciting, fun time to sit around the table and talk and share highs and lows of the day and to have conversation. That's going to be something else that they would learn to look forward to. So that is the faith model, and that's what we worked through. We have to remember, we can't just be intentional about our thoughts and say, okay, brain, now I want you to think this new thought. What do we have to do? You podcast listener of mine, you know this. We have to change our beliefs. And so we have to go back and think about what we are thinking about. It all goes back to the thought. And at the end of this coaching session, I helped her come up with a new belief card, one that has, the lie, the old way of thinking, and then the biblical truth, and then the new belief that she's going to put in her head every day, twice a day in the mirror until it learns how to stick, until the new neuron pathways form. And what we came up with was, the lie is, I have to hurry, and this needs to be done urgently. So she was struggling with that thought, whether it went with her job, a family matter, or a task, or her kids and mealtime. So we took the exact example, but it's an overall lie that she's believing, okay? And then the truth is, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. That's in Exodus 14:14. I love that verse. The Lord will fight for you. We try to do so many things and rush around, and he actually says, be still. Okay, and then the belief is, the new belief you want to form in your brain, the new neuron pathway you want to form is, I have been given the opportunity to teach my kids patience and delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is something that we really struggle with as humans, as adults, as kids. It doesn't matter your age. We struggle with it, especially in 2024. And if we have the opportunity so often during the day to teach our kids this, I'm working on it too. We're all working on this. And if we can get this belief nailed in our brain that we have opportunity, and it's a gift, and it's a privilege, and it's an honor to be their mother and teach them these things, then it will change our words, our actions, and the results. Okay, friend, if you would like to work with me through the Courageous Faith Model, then book me for a free 15-minute chat at bit.ly/challenges. chat with Shan. I would love to work with you, and I hope this was helpful and you can apply this right to your life. And I pray that you have more peace and calm in this busy, stressful Christmas season, that you remember every day is an opportunity. It's a gift to love others as Jesus loved them. So remember, love is slow, Jesus walked, and peace be with you. Shalom, shalom. Hey, Wellness Warrior, I pray that blessed you. And if so, it would bless me big if you would write a 5-star review and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Not only would this make me super happy, but it will allow for others to find this show too. Also, I love to chat over on Instagram, so make sure to take a screenshot, share to your Instagram stories, and tag me at @TheShanWright so I can see it and we can keep chatting and bring other moms to chat with us. Until we get to chat again, mama friend, may the Lord's face shine upon you and give you peace.